I have no doubt in my mind that Spider-Man 2 is going to win Game of the Year. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everybody, to another video. Today I want to talk about something that, quite frankly, I don't think I've been able to keep my mind off of, and that is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Pretty much any time I'm not making a video for you guys, it's all I can think about. I'm very excited to see what they do with the story, and I decided, you know what? Why not combine, let's make a video today talking about Marvel Spider-Man 2 and everything that I want to see from the game, things that, you know, maybe suits or villains, or even just things that I think will happen in the game. So we're going to take all of that and we're just going to talk about it for a little bit. Real quick, before we get into this, if you are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, letting me know that you guys like the content that we put out here. I do want to say that when Marvel Spider-Man 2 does come out, I will 100% be doing a playthrough on it from beginning to end, and then we can kind of talk about if you guys want me to do the DLC with it, and just kind of see where we can go from there with that. Again, I could not be more excited to play Marvel Spider-Man 2. We're just roughly a month out from the game releasing here, and we know a little bit, but apparently we don't know too much because from what the you know, developers have said. So let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the idea of partners. So in Batman Arkham Knight and even Arkham City, I believe, there are moments where you get to team up with a friend. Now, you can't do co-op, but you do get to team up with like other members around the city. For example, Catwoman. And especially in Batman Arkham Knight, you can team up with Nightwing and so, Robin. I propose that not only can we work with Miles in this game, as we kind of have already seen like in the first little teaser of this game that we got, but that they allow us to, you know, work with people like Black Cat, and that we can even pull off combos at certain missions in the game. You know, whether we meet Daredevil or Punisher. I think Prowler could even be a huge one for Miles, like him and his uncle working together. I think Wolverine could be one. Wolverine, I don't know if that's going to happen. I just kind of put that in there based on the fact that Insomniac said that Wolverine is in this universe. Doesn't mean he's going to show up. It would still be pretty cool if he did, though. My biggest one that I would love to see is probably Prowler or Black Cat. Those are probably the most realistic ones since they're already in our universe. We know that Daredevil exists in this universe because we've seen the Matt Murdock building in the first Spider-Man game and Miles Morales. So I'm just kind of hoping at this point that it happens. I think that would be a really interesting way to just flesh out the story with all these different side characters. Moving on to villains. So probably the biggest villain I want to see in this game is Mysterio. I know that the game is about Venom. I know that. Not to mean that they couldn't make a side character. Shocker wasn't even part of the original Sinister Six, and he was still in that game. I mean, we had a whole Sinister Six to fight in that game. Now, originally I thought, you know, how are they going to do a Mysterio fight? Until I thought about two things. One, in Batman Arkham Knight, which the reason I reference those games so much is because they were kind of like the a little bit of inspiration for these games in the way that they have their fight mechanics and just the way they go about their making the game. Well, I propose that we make them exactly or very similar to the Scarecrow fights with illusions. And we've already kind of seen this in Marvel's Spider-Man before, when Scorpion stabs Spider-Man in the first game and he has to kind of go through the illusions and stuff like that. Now, obviously, it's on a much, you know, this would be on a much bigger scale with Mysterio being, the, you know, that'd be his main source of power. It'd be a very one-on-one fight, but I would 100% be happy with seeing like a Mysterio fight in this game, being that he is my favorite Marvel Spider-Man villain. So let's hope that we can, let's hope that he can make an appearance in this game. And we already know that he exists in this universe because in the first game we see someone has a costume on him, and then in the very beginning we see that Peter has a photo of him like defeating all these other people, and I believe Mysterio is up there. One other character I really think we should have in this game, the chameleon. In a game that's all about identity and, you know, are you who you say you are? Are you this Peter? Are you that Peter? Are you a good version of Peter? Do you have venom in you? I think the chameleon would offer a lot of fun trickery in this game. And especially with Miles, and I just think it would be a really interesting concept to play with. I think it'd be really fun, and I think it'd be really interesting. I don't know that he should be a main villain, but I definitely would like to see him in the game, also being the fact that he was the first ever Spider-Man villain. So maybe he can be our villain here. I don't expect him to be like a big part of this game, but it would be cool if by the end of this we did get a Carnage tease. I don't know if we're gonna get that. I don't know if that's the direction they necessarily want to go with this, but it would be cool to get like a little Carnage tease here. A big one, two big ones that I really want to talk about. Sandman. I don't know if they could do this. I'm just kind of throwing names out there and just, you know, of course we all want to see, you know, the big Spider-Man villains in this game. It's a Spider-Man game. It's one of the best Spider-Man games that'll probably ever exist. And of course we want to see all of our favorite villains in this universe. I really would like to see Sandman. It'd be a very different kind of fight. You know, if we have Sandman, they could always do Hydro Man or Molten Man. Just different things like that. I think it would be really interesting just to see what a boss fight like that would look like. I always go back to thinking about the Lego game, and I would hope it would be much more fun and not as repetitive as that fight was. So let's hope that we can get something a little bit more different than that. The final thing I want to talk about with villains is that I do not think we are going to get a full-fledged Green Goblin in this game, at least not until the very end, maybe. I think that at the end of this game, Peter is going to, for the greater good, defeat Harry as Venom. I don't think Venom will be gone completely, but I think that Harry will be gone from Venom. And I don't know if Harry will die from that or, you know, whatever happens. But I think that Norman, the way it's portrayed, it looks as though he does not care what he has to do to have his son. And if that means taking up this Green Goblin mantle or creating the Green Goblin, and we've already know that, you know, he's been thinking about it. We saw the Green Goblin blueprints in the first game. So I think it would be really cool to just, you know, explore that a little bit. As far as DLC goes, I don't know if they really could do anything. I would love to see if, you know, maybe they tackle, maybe we get Mysterio there or more of the Sinister Six. I know that this is mostly a story about Venom, so I want to keep that, about that. I don't want them, you know, to be stretched too thin. But I would absolutely love to see, like, some DLC, because I love the DLC in the first game. The one thing I do want to talk about, before I get into, like, some plot stuff that I do want to talk about, is possibly online with friends. I know that that's a big one that a lot of people want to be able to swing around the city with their friends. I don't know that it's gonna happen. I would love for it to happen, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see, because a lot of these games don't usually tend to be online co-op. Maybe they'll have like a specific mode just for swinging around the city. I just want to talk about some possible things that I think might happen in the plot of this game. Some things are based off of things we've seen. Some things are just total, you know, Hail Marys. I don't really know. I just kind of hope that maybe some of these things happen. I think one of the biggest things we almost can confirm at this point is that we're going to get some kind of huge battle between Peter and Miles. With Peter having the symbiote, there's got to be a way to get it off him, and I think that Miles is going to be that answer. I cannot wait for that. I don't know how they're going to do that or what, you know, what it's going to entail, but I hope that it's good. I think that we're going to get a really cool cinematic fight, not just with Venom, but I think it would be really cool if, like, the closer we get to defeating him, you know how kind of like in Spider-Man 3 when he was using, you know, the sounds of the bells and it was like hurting Venom, and we get like, or like almost in like Venom Let There Be Carnage when Shriek was using her power, and then, you know, you could see Cletus Cassidy like coming out a little bit. I think it would be really cool to see something like that in this game, where we see Harry, but he wants to stay in Venom, and like we see both of them. Like I really think we need something like that in this game. I'd really like to see Black Cat get a little bit of redemption here, as some of the DLC was about her. I think that would be a really fun, you know, inclusion, like kind of to see, you know, like kind of like what Catwoman did in the Arkham series. Maybe get a little bit of that kind of stuff going on here. I really want to see Wraith help out a little bit, because I try to remember that she's not a total villain. She just does things her own way. And I think that it would be really cool to see her in the end help out her old friend, even if they're not on the same side. I'm hoping we get a little bit more of like history with Peter, because now that Queens is explorable in this game, I'd like to learn a little bit more about him before we knew him as Spider-Man. I know we kind of know like the basic how it went thing, but I'd still like to know a little bit about this Peter, and maybe even his Uncle Ben, maybe like a flashback or something before the events of the first game. I think that would be really cool. I don't see this happening, at least at the very least, and I don't even know if I see it happening in the third game, if they do decide to make a third game, which I think they probably are gonna have to, because people love this series so much, including myself. I don't see them doing anything with the Spider-Verse. I know he was in Across the Spider-Verse, but I just don't see it happening for the sake of them trying to focus on the Insomniac story that they're doing. I could see them doing a little reference, maybe like a suit or something like that. I just don't see a big plot line going that way. Totally could though. Maybe you get like the bracelet and it's like a little side mission, like you have to clean up some anomalies. I'd be okay with that, because you know, the whole goal is to keep that universe intact, and it's not like you need to do this big thing, but I think it would be neat to see something like that. One final thing I do want to talk about is I think it would be interesting to see Miles get the symbiote. And more importantly, there's a scene that we got in the story trailer where he goes, you know, you took everything from me. Wouldn't it be neat to see Miles try to fight his anger and possibly get close to killing Martin Lee for what he did to his dad? I think that would be crazy, but I don't know that it's gonna happen. I would love to see them go down that road, between them trying to go between back and forth who gets the symbiote, and maybe even some of the Sinister Six gets the symbiote, and you know, he just makes his rounds. That would make the game really interesting. So that's just some of my kind of like plot guesses I would say. So just quickly, I'm gonna name some suits that I would really like to see in this game. I'm gonna start with Peter and then I'll go into Miles. I have a lot of Peter suits. I do have some Miles suits that I would really like to see. And let me know in the comments if there's any suits missing from this that you think, hey, maybe it should be in the game. So first of all, we have the TASM 2 suit. I have the Cosmic suit. I want a Spider-Ham skin kind of suit looking thing. I think that would be really funny. I really want a Spider-Man Noir, but I know we got him in the first game, but with like his trench coat and top hat, that would make it for me. I'd really like to see a zombie suit. I'd like to see a Spider-Man India suit from Across the Spider-Verse. Let's get a Spider-Man Unlimited suit. One that they had in the Lego Marvel games is the Spider-Man Future Foundation suit. That's something I'd really like to see in this game. Maybe we'll get the Edge of Time suit. One of mine that I really want is the No Way Home Final Swing suit, the one that Tom Holland makes for himself at the end of the movie. I'd really like to see a Superior Spider-Man suit, maybe even a Sensational Spider-Man suit, and like Spider-Man in Space suit. Maybe we'll even get the Japanese Spider-Man suit. I think a really fun one would be the Identity Crisis suit. I really want to see an Earth, I believe it's 9500 suit. Maybe we'll get the Bullet Point suit. I would love to see an Ultimate suit from the Ultimate Spider-Man. And then the final two, I just have the Spectacular Spider-Man and the black suit from Spider-Man 3. I think that would be a really cool skin for the Venom suit. And then as far as Miles goes, I really want to see the Clone Saga style. That would be really neat. the 10th anniversary suit, the Absolute Carnage suit, and the Last Remains Miles suit. And finally, I think we should just include the Across the Spider-Verse suit. Yeah, guys, that's just pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts and what I really would like to see from Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Of course, as close we get, the closer we get to the game, we'll know a little bit more and a little bit more. And I'll try to update with little small videos here and there. But I'm very excited about this game. If you guys have looked at any of my social media, I've been making, you know, content for months about how excited I am for this game. And when it does come out, you can 100% expect, like I said, for there to be content on this game, on this channel. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, everybody.